thank you for the introduction, and hello everyone. I'm Massimo. I do developer relations at SSV. So I'm here to talk about how we're launching a DVT network on Mainnet. I think, just in the finishing panel, on the panel that just finished, I heard decentralization multiple times in the last 5 minutes. So we all know that decentralization is kind of like the key for Ethereum staking. We believe as an ecosystem, as a community, that it should be in the hands of as many people as possible, as many entities as possible, but vulnerable to none of them. So as a team, SSV, we set our goal to decentralize Ethereum staking. And the truth is, this current situation, as the picture show, is not ideal. We're kind of far from it. There's many companies, like there's a small number of companies that control a big portion of the staking, and they grew so fast and so much, they basically got too good for their own good. And this is, of course, I don't have to say it, but it's a systemic risk, because the bigger they grow, the bigger the risk is for the entire network. And so I'm here to talk about what these companies can do to sort of like stem the tide or reverse this excessive centralization. I think the slide has been converted, so the animation doesn't work. But what this slide was supposed to represent is the picture in the background is the famous, I guess, roadmap that Vitalik Buterin posts on Twitter, formerly Twitter, now X, from time to time. And decentralized distributed validators has been on the roadmap for a while. You can see the circled at the top right there. And what this means is that distributed validators has been on the roadmap for a while. It's a part of the Ethereum tech stack. It's a technological primitive. And simply put, SSV has been working on it since the beginning, since the inception. And we believe that this leads to that Ethereum staking is central to the future of Ethereum itself. And DVT is what basically will unlock this central position, because with services built on top of Ethereum staking, it eventually will drive the success of the overall network. And let's talk about like what DVT is at a glance. I think many here know already, but for those who don't, the purpose is to be, like I said, vulnerable to none of the entities that run the network. And how this is done is by splitting the key, the validator key is into key share, and letting the validator operations be managed by multiple parties that cooperate in a trustless manner by using threshold signing and using Byzantine fault-tolerant consensus protocol. This is generic DVT definition, and the benefits that you get from running your validator as a DVT cluster is that you help with the decentralization of Ethereum. If the cluster is built correctly, you also help with the with diversity, because you increase the resilience of the network by making sure that the cluster is composed of different operators that run different tech stacks. So that would mean different execution clients, beacon clients, and so on and so forth. The added resiliency is due to the fact that, being fault tolerance, if one of the nodes or a certain number of faulty nodes in the cluster, as long as the consensus is reached, as long as this number is below the threshold, your validator will still correctly attest and propose blocks. And this ultimately leads to a minimized slash risk, because what's happening is your key is distributed into key shares, so you can safely keep it and store it offline. It doesn't have to be online all the time. So it's an increased inherent safety for you and for the network itself. But talking in specific about what SSV SSV Network is, we are pioneers in the DVT space. We started working in basically in the inception of DVT, when it started circulating as a technology. As a matter of fact, we are so old, so OGs, that SSV stands for Secret Share Validator, which is actually the initial name of the technology. It later got renamed to DVT. We have like 60 plus dedicated contributors across like multiple countries, and we are collaborating with proof of stake leaders in the space. I later have a slides showing all the names, and they have been running more than 100 nodes with us in between testnet and mainnet. We have experience of running actually almost 3 years of running a staking service, and we use this experience to work on DVT and create a DVT testnet that has been running for basically 2 years right now. But what I want to stress, it's very important to me as a software engineer, is that all of our work has been open sourced. It's done as, has been created as a public good, and it's designed to be running as an infrastructure for staking. It's not a product that we want to like sell to the end user. We want services to be built on top of it. As far as the technology goes, it's composed of a layer, a contract-based layer, where you can register your validator with zero manual coordination, with just essentially a transaction. And you can, at the same time as you can register, you can also swap operators just as easily. So for this reason, it's easy to be onboarded as an operator. You can come in and just run our node software, register as an operator, and you're good to go. So it's just one piece of software you need to run, and a transaction to join the network. And same time, you can come in and register your validator and distribute it with just one transaction, as long as you have the key and you split it. So all of this basically composes a reusable infrastructure, like I said, that can be used by multiple different teams, different like companies that want to build on top of us. And on top of it, yes, it's DKG ready inherently, because as long as you like provide us the key shares, we're happy. As a matter of fact, we're also building right now a tool to initiate DKG ceremonies, and we have also grantees that are doing the same thing. What this slide represents is what we think is the evolution of DVT as a technology, starting from the like traditional validator stack, and that is like 2 separate DVT clusters that are doing their thing, and like they might be from different companies and different teams. What we have created, and what we think is the winner in all of this, is a DVT cluster, a multi-cluster DVT network, where just the network effects alone means that different teams that maybe want to create islands, want to like don't necessarily want to cooperate with others, can still benefit from the network effect. But it just multiplies when you can essentially, you have the freedom to pick and choose different operators from different teams, and you can compose multiple clusters with different like sets of operators. And as soon as you see the performance of someone degrading, you can just swap him out, and you're good to go. That ultimately leads to a summary of the key properties of SSV, key advantages of distributing a validator with us, which is the simplicity, which I already said. You can come in and join the network in just the time it takes for you to have a transaction validated by the network. It's going to be, it's already permissionless on testnet, and we want to launch fully permissionlessly by the end of the year. I'm going to talk about that in a second. And I already mentioned it's zero coordination. So as soon as the transaction is validated, the operators that you chose are going to start attesting for you. No coordination needed. You don't have to know the guy. As soon as you are happy with the performance of that operator, you're good to go. Yeah, I already talked about the swapping in and out. And most importantly, I want to stress it again, we built it as a community-owned public good. We have, all our code is open source, both the smart contract and the node. And there's a DAO governing key aspects of the whole network, like the network fees, how much, what are the limits of the operator's fees, how much they can increase, what is the windows for it to take effect, and so on and so forth. And ultimately, once again, I want to stress the flexibility that this kind of configuration leads to, and the fact that it allows teams to essentially scale how much they want and however they want to. I mentioned Mainnet, so let's talk about it. I'm happy to basically report that we took a very deliberate approach to our rollout. It has been divided into 4 phases with very cautious approach. We had started with a launch with just us as operators. We monitor it, we monitor performance, and then we started the limited launch, which was with verified operators, which passed KYC and vetting, and we once again monitored performance. The launch phase, which is still limited partially with launch partners, which are applications that are built on top of us, and it has been going. Let's talk about some stats about it. It has been going for more than 100 days, and 50 plus operators have been running on Mainnet. And that slide has been basically rendered outdated last night, because I said 750, and I checked it today. It's already 180 validators distributed on Mainnet on SSV. And those 50 operators are present in 30 plus countries. So we're fairly we're fairly distributed in terms of geolocation on 21 data centers. And like I said, that launch phase, it has fostered the development of 15 plus applications on top of our network and protocol. I think everyone here is interested in this slide, particularly on the performance, because at the end of the day, it's about money. The attestation rate is approximately 100%. And what I think I want to stress out is the attestation effectiveness, which is a net increase compared to the mainnet average. And this is due to essentially the gossip effect of the network and the collaboration between operators in a single cluster, because when they agree they reach consensus on a certain attestation, they all 4, 7, 10 components of a single cluster start to spreading the message, and this essentially multiplies the liveness of the cluster itself. So that's why the attestation has increased with respect to the mainnet average. And like the slide says, basically 100% proposal rates. This represents the SSV ecosystem. Like I said, I mentioned we are collaborating with leaders in the proof of stake ecosystem. So you'll see many familiar names. And like I said, we are trying to help many of them stem the tide of staking centralization. Moving on to, I think, what's going to be even more interesting, we're very excited to bring this program, to this incentivized mainnet program, because our goal is to expedite the distributed validator adoption, and we want to reward people that join us as pioneers of this. So what you're going to get is, if you run a distributed validator with us, you're going to get an APR boost of up to 50% in SSV tokens, depending on the number of validators. So it's gradually scaling down as the network is increasing. But what this means is that you basically, you create a win-win situation where the network is decentralizing, you get a better service, better better results in general, better attestation rates, and you also have an APR boost on top. To be eligible, simply, this program is running for an entire year. It has just started, but you have plenty of time to join, and just simply run a validator with us, distribute it, and make sure the performance stay above 90%. The last thing is very dear to me. We're running out of time, but I want to stress the fact that we believe, we're very heavily invested in fostering development in the ecosystem. And so we believe that the future of staking is built upon lots of services that are still going to have to be built. And the vast majority of staking of Ethereum stake is going to go on to those services. And we want them to be building with us. We want them to help. We want to help them build, and that's why we have destined. That's why our focus, our audience, that was supposed to be Steve Ballmer shouting "developers, developers, developers." I kind of got broken, but that is our focus. That is our audience. We're not a service for users or end users. We are an infrastructure provider for people building on top of our protocol. And that's why we have a 50 million ecosystem fund. And on top of that, we have a 3 million grant. So just come join us, come build with us. I think that's it for the slides. Thank you for listening in. I'll try to rush through it because we're running out of time. But if you have any questions, feel free to join us at our booth, which is on the room opposite to this one. Thank you for listening.